In this video, I'm going to share with you the different ways that you can use your astrology chart to create business and career success. This is something that I do all the time for myself, for my clients, and now I want to share it with you because years ago, when I realized that the mainstream way of running and building a business was just not a good match for me, I went to look into different ways that I could create the success that I wanted in a way that would really match who I uniquely am and my energy levels, and it just felt good to me over time. And astrology is one of the major ways that I, to this day, still do that, as well as for my clients through group and private coaching experiences. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the major ways that I use astrology to create success for you. One of the ways that I love to use astrology is to develop your brand and your style. And I love to look at the sun and your rising sign for this. This is so cool because this is how you are here to uniquely shine your light into the world. It's how you portray yourself, how others see you and value you. And being aware of this, these innate qualities and this energy that you hold is so valuable because when you're aware of this and use it to your advantage through your branding and your visuals and the identity that you portray in your business, by doing that, you automatically become so magnetic and attract all of the right people right into your brand, into your business. As a fourth line in human design, I love to learn by example, so I'm going to give you some as well, and I'm going to use myself to do so. So I am a Sagittarius rising and a Scorpio sun, and the way that this really shows up for me specifically is in the colors of my brand. So as a Sagittarius rising, what I automatically bring into everything that I do is a happy, bubbly personality. I have a very joyful and positive outlook on life and everything that I do. And this is where my Scorpio comes in. Even though I go really deep with my clients, I don't do superficial stuff. Nuh-uh, it's not happening with me. I go straight to the core. We're going to release the root problem. And from there, you're going to manifest everything that you desire. That's the work that I do. So I go really deep. Yet in that deep work, which can absolutely be uncomfortable, I make everything fun. I make everything lighthearted. I can't not. It's who I am. And so that's a big part of my brand. And so the way that you will see that in my case is through the colors. So we have the lighter pink shades, which really represent like that positive outlook, that softness, that feminine side. And then we have the deeper, darker royal purple colors coming in. I also have my Scorpio sun in the 12th house of spirituality. So there is a lot of spiritual aspects to my brand, to what I do. And these two colors opposite from each other, like the pink shades and the darker royal purples, really showcase how we're gonna go deep, yet we're gonna do it in a lighthearted way. And so you can see how being aware of what your rising sign and your sun sign are and the placement of your chart as a whole, you can see how that will really support you in making decisions on how you're going to brand yourself in a way that truly matches your unique energy. Next, I want to talk about something that I feel is really underestimated by people, especially in the beginning of building their business. And that's not because it's not done. It's done all the time, all around us by businesses. But when we're building our business, it's something we tend to overlook because we're focused on strategy or like what action steps to take. And what is really, really, really important is emotional connection, building an emotional connection with the people that you're serving, whether it's in your career or in your business. And this is where I love to look at the moon sign. The moon sign is how you're uniquely capable of building a really deep emotional connection with people. And when you're aware of this, and I'll talk about the two ways that I love to use this, but when you're aware of this, you really know how to build trust with people. And it doesn't matter if you are talking to an audience on social media or where you are, whether you're writing your resume and having a job interview. You want to build trust with people, and you can do this when you're aware of your moon sign through the copy that you're writing, the words that you're speaking. Even in your resume, you can add it in sprinkles, and it will psychologically, for the person reading that resume, as well as for any other copy that you write or words that you speak, it will have an effect on the people and draw the correct people to you, just like with the branding of your sun and rising sign. And so all that being said, the two ways that I love to use your moon sign is first and foremost, knowing what it is that your soul, your energy needs in order to feel good in a sustainable long-term way. Whether you're building a business or you have a career that you love and potentially want to grow in, you want to be doing that in a sustainable way. And you actually have energetic needs that you can see based on your moon sign and the placement in your chart that you really need to fuel within yourself in order to have it be sustainable in the long run. You don't want to build a business and then 2 years in be completely burned out. You want to know what it is that you need in order to make that a sustainable success. And the same goes for careers. You need to know what it is that you need in your job in order to be fueled on an energetic level and keep that up and potentially get promotion after promotion without the burnout, without feeling like there's this void inside of you. You can see that by your moon sign. And the second thing that we can see is how you are uniquely capable of building an emotional connection with your people. Because like I said, this is really, really important. When you're able to build an emotional connection with people, you're able to build trust because people now feel safe with you. They feel heard. They feel understood. And you have something in common with your ideal clients that can be seen in your moon sign. And when people trust you, selling and therefore serving people is going to be so much easier. So for example, I have my moon in the 8th house in Cancer. And the way that this really shows up for me is that the emotional connection that I'm building with people is around feeling safe, around feeling comfortable. And so one of my superpowers, just like we all have them, is to make people feel instantly seen, heard, understood, comfortable in my presence. And that is so incredibly helpful when you think back to my branding of going really deep with people. I have incredibly uncomfortable conversations sometimes, whether it's trauma that's been experienced by people or me having to deliver channeled messages that aren't necessarily comfortable, or whether we are working with limiting beliefs that is just not fun. Our ego is going to come up, it's going to scream and yell at us, and we feel uncomfortable in those places. But the way that I built that connection with people is to make them feel extremely comfortable in the uncomfortable. And so we all have something that we bring to our business, to our careers that is unique to us. And when we know that and therefore can utilize that, oh my goodness, are you going to be setting yourself apart from everybody else? Now, I mentioned copywriting a little bit already when talking about the moon sign, but there is another way that we can look at your ideal communication style, and that is through Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, of sales, and of course so much more, but this is what I really like to use it for when we talk about business and careers is communication and sales. Whether you are selling offers or you're selling yourself to a job when you're talking to somebody about that. So when we think about business, you hear all of this talk about needing to follow certain scripts in order to sell on a potential sales call or on your sales page. And even though we're running a business, I understand you want to sell, right? Because you can't surf without selling. At the same time, when you follow somebody else's script that may have worked really well for them because perhaps it was in beautiful alignment for them, as well as, of course, the sales psychology that runs behind it, which is absolutely true. When you are simply copy pasting something like that and you're neglecting your own unique communication style, one of two things can happen. The first one being that you attract a whole bunch of people, but they might end up disappointed because when they speak to you, it's completely different than what they were sold on because they saw the sales pitch on their website or they heard your sales pitch as they were talking to you on a call, and now they're talking to you for anything else that you're offering and it doesn't really match up. That would be a shame because what you have to offer is amazing and you want people that are coming into that offer to see that beforehand already. Now, the second thing that can happen is that you try to completely force yourself into a way of communication that is not aligned for you, and that maybe gets you a job, speaking of careers, or that gets you clients in business, yet somehow you're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel like something is missing because you're not able to literally communicate who you really are. You're not able to express who you really are. And that's going to create a mismatch in your life, which can be really draining and even create burnout much, much faster. So selling either your offers in a business or yourself when you're thinking about a career, It's so helpful to do that in a way that is unique to you so that everything afterwards will continue to match up over and over again. So again, for example, my Mercury is also in Scorpio in the 12th house, just like my sun sign. And so my way of speaking is also to go straight to the core. I don't enjoy superficial conversations about the weather or whatever. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know the truth, and I want to be there for you because Cancer moon, but I want to go straight to the core. And that's what I do in any conversation that I have. I don't have superficial conversations in my business. I want to know what's up with you and how I can be there for you. And another aspect of that for me is that this is one of the reasons that I'm a very intuitive channeler. And you can see this too in your chart, by the way. I'm not covering that in this video, but you can see what your intuitive capabilities and your gifts are. But this is something that I used to do all the time, but I never really dared to bring that into my business until I found like a deeper strength within my channeling capabilities. I chose in my personal time to actually develop that. And then I thought, you know what, this is so me. I'm going to bring this into the business. I had seen it in my chart already, but I was a little nervous about it. But I'm telling you, since I did that, my coaching has become even more impactful. People have had life-changing moments right in front of my eyes. It's been so beautiful. And that's what owning your unique communication style can really do for you as well. And selling is going to become so much easier. Now, for one of the all-time favorite topics of both myself and my clients is money magnetism. We can actually see in your chart how you're designed to attract the ideal clients that you want to work with, the ideal job offers you want to manifest, the ideal amount of money that you want to have in your bank account. Venus is the one that's going to show you what your relationship with money is, what your relationship with magnetism is, and how you can build and increase more of both over time, money and magnetism. And by the way, I also like to look at Jupiter for money attraction. It's less about magnetism, more about attraction, but there's a lot more to Jupiter when it comes to your chart as a whole, which is, it's not as straightforward, but it does show you where you have an extra amount of luck in your life when you focus on that area, which is really cool. But this is why I mainly talk about Venus right now, because it is very straightforward. This is your relationship with money. This is how you're going to attract and manifest all the things that you want when it comes to abundance, an abundance of clients, an abundance of offers, an abundance of money. And so again, for example, I have my Venus and actually also my Jupiter, but I have my Venus in Virgo in the 10th house. So speaking specifically to Virgo right now, one of the ways that I really attract more abundance into my reality is by paying attention to the details. Not in a perfectionistic way, although that is the shadow side of this, of course, but I'm here to really perfect things, refine things. And so one of the ways that you will see this for me is that my group coaching program, the Energetics of Success, is so much bigger and more detailed than any other thing that I've seen out there. And in fact, my body feels really uncomfortable if I think about creating a very superficial, right? Also because of Scorpio, as I've shared before, but a superficial program where you're just gonna get a little bit of the highlights, even if it's lower ticket, a lower price point. I don't want it because it doesn't feel good to my body. I'm here to give you all of the details. Remove the fluff, but give you all of the details. And understanding that has allowed me to do what felt good to my body, which is the opposite of what any business coach has ever recommended to me about me specifically even, as well as the general advice out there. I do the exact opposite. I go way deep, and it's totally in alignment for me and attracts abundance to me very easily. Next up, I want to talk about inner motivation, because we all have days where we lack motivation, try to find motivation, try to push ourselves into motivation. And I'll talk in another video about why that's actually a very detrimental way to go about things. But for now, I'm just going to tell you that there's actually something in your astrological chart that shows you how you are designed to tap into your inner motivation. And that is your Mars sign. Your Mars sign shows you what your aligned way to motivate yourself actually is. It connects you to your higher purpose and therefore supports you in your everyday tasks. And so again, for example, my Mars is also in Scorpio in the 12th house. And this really means that for me, again, the superficial ways of going about things are not going to motivate me. It's going to feel really uncomfortable, and it's going to create a lot of resistance when I go about it that way anyways. And because it's in the 12th house, for me, adding spirituality to everything that I do and talking about the magic of life and bringing the magic into our everyday lives, and therefore manifestation, is so highly motivating for me that talking about this with you, helping you to do this for yourself, it lights me up and it makes me want to jump out of bed in the mornings, because this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so that's visible for you in your chart as well. I'm actually going to be taking a little break, but if you love astrology, you're going to love human design. And in this video, I explain how to use the human design system to create success in your business. And if you're listening on the podcast right now, then episode 8 is where you want to be next. So while I'm on my break, check that out and stay tuned, because we're going to continue this conversation in part 2 of this video.